In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what Keepa has to offer and why I love using the software. Now, first of all, it only costs $29 per month, which is insane value for money. There is a free version, but obviously you don't get access to all the features. Now, with Keepa, you can track products, you can analyze products, and you can also find products to sell on Amazon. So let's get into it. So on the left-hand side, you've got your filters here. So these are my filters. So choose deal type Amazon. Obviously, you can play around with this if you want to. Limit drop interval, I select a month. And then you've got your ranges here. So I've got my drop percentage range at 40%. I like it to be near enough half price because obviously we need to make some money and we also need to pay Amazon's fees as well. The price range, so you can change this to whatever you want. I normally select about £12 minimum. Obviously, anything under £12 on Amazon, you can obviously still make money, but sometimes it is a lot harder. So you can normally pick between sort of £10 and £12 as a minimum. You've also got your sales rank as well here, and then you've got your minimum rating. So we don't really want to be buying anything with 1 or 2 stars. Obviously, you might get a lot of returns if you start doing that. Now, there's loads of filters. I play around with mine all the time, to be honest with you. I don't think I've updated them lately. But you can play around with them and see kind of what is the difference. And if you're getting better products looking at other things on here, then obviously feel free to do that. So here you can look at every single category that they offer and keep it all here. Or what you can do is just select any category that you want to look at. You might not want to look at things like large appliances, for example. So this is the UK page. Now, what's great about this is that it does update quite a lot. Now, you can have this on a separate screen. And if you click on this, and this, if you refresh it, these will all go grayed out. So you know exactly where you sort of left off from when a new product comes in. Now, this gives you kind of a little image of a graph here. But obviously, if you click on this, you can then read the data and see whether you think that is a good drop. Obviously, £38 down to 22 is great. But then does it sell well? Can we make a profit, etc.? So obviously, that's why you click into it and then see the full data. Now, also, we can look in other countries. So up the top here, we can select Germany, France, Italy, or Spain, and we can have a little look at their drops as well. Now, let's say, for example, you're looking in a different country and you don't know what the price is in UK. Down on the bottom here, you've got all the different prices. So let's say, for example, this is £15 in the UK, but then we can see Germany was, I don't know, £5. Obviously, that's when you can go and source it from Germany and then resell it back on Amazon UK. Obviously, if the profit's there and the sales are there. So tracking is one of my favorite features on Keepa. Now, if you build up your tracking database, after about 6 months of tracking products, what you'll notice that every day you're getting new notifications coming through. And it basically means that you don't have to source as much because you're getting fed deals. That's the dream, right? You want to be fed as many deals as possible to limit the amount of time that you're sourcing. Now, let me kind of show you how it works here. So let's say we find a deal and it's currently selling for £77.99 and we need to buy it about £54 to make 20% ROI. Now, first of all, what I do is I look down in the European markets to see if it's at that price. Obviously, it's not. So there's no chance that we can buy it on Amazon. However, if we go to track product here, I've already tracked it, but I'll show you still. If we select, so these are the countries that you can buy from: USA, UK, Germany, France, Italy, and Spain. So make sure they're ticked and click enable. And then you would put in here your price. So we need to pay £54. So I do buy box, Amazon, and Lightning deals, and then update tracking. Now, what's great about this is there's loads of different ways that you can get notified. So you can get notified via email if the price is hit. You can also set up your Telegram as well. And it's really, really good because once you get the notification, all you need to do is hop back in, reanalyze it, obviously make sure the profit's still there, and then just buy it. Now, you can also check on recent notifications. So if you click on recent notifications, you'll see a long list of anything that's kind of met the threshold. Just be careful because sometimes it picks up deals that haven't met it, but it might be on a lightning deal. Sometimes you might pick up items that are sold by a third party with bad reviews, or sometimes if it's from a different country, they might not ship to the UK. So not everything that you're getting is going to be gold, but a lot of it is. And also we can see our tracking overview. But when you set your tracking, make sure you track it for 10 years, because if you do it for a year, then every single year you just got to re-update everything. Now, what I also suggest from time to time is just going back into your tracking overview and then looking at what your settings are. If you look to my last item there on the watch, I was tracking it at 62, but the price has obviously dropped on Amazon, so we've had to lower that. So sometimes you can go back in, look at what you're tracking, and then whether you need to lower the price you're paying or higher it. Obviously, it's always good to kind of maintain that as well. So if you already use Keepa, or if you're planning on getting Keepa, make sure you also get the Keepa Chrome extension, because it makes life so much easier. Now, if we scroll just past the product image here, you can see a really nice graph and obviously a lot of data points up the top here. Now, don't get me wrong, Seller Amp is very, very good. However, having a bigger graph is just a lot easier to analyze, especially if you're looking at things like IPs, because sometimes if you click all time and the listing's been active for 5, 6, 7 years, sometimes it's quite hard to see whether there's an IP drop. And then obviously having this graph and being able to zoom in gives you a clear indication, has it had an IP drop, or is it just sellers jumping on and off the listing? Now, up here, you've got your tracking, like we've just been through. Now, data and offers is really, really good, because sometimes you come across a product, it might either be a low-selling product, or it could potentially be a variation. And it's quite hard to tell whether that variation actually sells or that product actually sells. Now, this is accurate a lot of the time. However, sometimes things don't make sense. So just try and look for as much information as you possibly can. Now, Amazon especially, but also some sellers will have a maximum quantity that any person can buy when shopping on Amazon. And a lot of people set it to around 3. So if you see somebody like this with 5 in stock the whole time, it doesn't mean that they've got 5 in stock. That's just the maximum that somebody can buy. They might have 20 in stock, but on Keepa it will just show 5. Now, this is kind of what we want to look at. So this person had 55 in stock on the 19th of December. And then by the 28th of January, he only had 1 in stock. So that's a real clear indication that this product actually does sell. You can see the price here of what they've listed it at as well. And then you've got sold here. Now, again, take this with a bit of pinch of salt. Sometimes it's accurate and sometimes it's not. And then obviously you've got the seller here, and you can see their ratings, review counts as well if you go through. Now you've got buy box statistics. Now, again, if you've watched some of my videos before, I don't really pay much attention on the buy box. I've been selling on Amazon for 4 or 5 years, never ever been stuck with a product that hasn't sold. And Amazon have been on the listing. There's been bigger sellers on the listing. So yeah, I don't really sort of pay too much attention to that. You've also got variations. So you can see every variation on this listing. Now, with your variations, you can open the product viewer, which is really, really good to check out variation details. And then in here, you can see all the product variations, and you can get a bit more information on that. So you've got bought in the past month, 50, 50, 50. This might not be because it's not a good seller. There might just not be any stock around. You can see the ratings, the rating count, which is normally roughly the same, but also you can see the review count. So you can kind of like put it in order. And then normally that's kind of like the best selling item. So on Seller Amp, this didn't look like a very good variation. But as you can see from this, it's got the highest review count, which actually means it probably is selling more because it's gaining more reviews. You can see last price change, and then you've got some other information along here as well. So feel free to check that out. Now under Keepa Pro, you've got some really, really good features. So you've got the product finder here. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail on this. It does look very, very daunting. However, if you've paid or if you're wanting to pay for a sourcing education, I go through so many different filter sets, which will enable you to find so many profitable products. Essentially, what you're doing is you're scanning the Amazon database, refining your criteria of what it's going to show you, and then obviously just reverse sourcing those products. Now, you can also do Amazon to Amazon business from this as well. So right at the bottom, you've got coupon percentages, you've got subscribe and save, and you've also got business discounts. Kind of really find those better discounts from Amazon to Amazon. But yeah, like I said, it does look very overwhelming. But after using it a few times, you will find what criteria work for you, and obviously how you can make the most of the program. Now you've also got seller lookup. So if there's a particular seller that you want to see what they're selling, you can put in their seller ID here, click submit, and it will give you a long list of everything that that person has sold. Now within the actual product finder Keepa filters, you can also do this, but you can also click historical data to see everything they've ever sold. So this was just a very quick rundown of exactly what Keepa has to offer. And the more you play around with it, the more that I'm sure you'll find very beneficial. But like I said, I can't go into too much detail because within my sourcing guide, I go through Keepa in quite a bit of detail. And obviously the people that have paid for that probably wouldn't be happy that I'm going through this free of charge. So I hope you've enjoyed. And if you want to be a part of the Discord server, we do have free sections. So we have a free section purely for Amazon beginners. We also have a premium section with some great features, some bots and stuff like that in there. And then obviously we do have the sourcing education as well. So for more information, there is going to be a link in the bio. There is also a link down below for Keepa as well if you want to go ahead and download it.